Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about our journey in the last 5 years, going from our previous startup, Rocket Pack, getting acquired by Disney, and then building yet another startup with the same team, now with Shark Punch. Now let's go back to 2010 for a while, and in the gaming space, 5 years is an eternity. So in 2010, me and my friend Jiri, we wanted to start a gaming company, and we wanted to build multi-platform games as a shared experience, meaning we wanted to build a game once and then have it playable on multiple different platforms. So remember 2010, iPads had just come out, Facebook games were still a thing, Farmville was very big, Angry Birds has just launched, even paid apps still dominated the top grossing charts, can you believe that? So we started working on a game called Warimals, and our goal was to bring it first to Facebook platforms and then bring it to mobile platforms eventually. And we started looking at the tech we could use to build that, and we took a look at Flash. And back then, mobile Flash wasn't happening anymore because Steve Jobs said that you're never going to see Flash on iOS devices. So we ended up in a situation where we had to solve our own problem. And we started working on our own technology based on HTML5. And we built the whole gaming stack. It had a gaming engine, tools, and an editor, and it all lived in the cloud, so it was all browser-based. And that was pretty unique, and we started calling it the Google Docs for making games. We built a few prototypes, and we showed it around to various developers in Finland and all around the world, and got really good feedback. And people were asking, like, is this Flash? What are you guys using? And we're like, well, this is our own thing. This is our own technology. And we started getting a lot of feedback on, well, could we use this technology as well from other companies? So we went forward and we built that into a product as well. In addition to making games, we started working on the platform. And we got some good visibility. We did some YouTube videos that gathered a lot of attention, especially in game development media. And we opened up a sign-up page. And I hoped that we would get like maybe 100 sign-ups in the first few days, and we could start from there. But the first night, we got over 1,000 sign-ups, and from companies like EA, Zynga, and of course some other companies such as Disney. So suddenly we were at the point where we had a lot of options on the table. Funding-wise, there were a lot of partners who wanted to work with us. And it was clearly a moment of that product market fit being found that startups often try to find. Now, the cool thing was we started working with Disney to build a pilot project for them, and we really had a shared vision with them. We believed that HTML5 would be a great technology to build multi-platform games going forward, and Disney had the vision that they wanted to replace Flash technology with something more modern, because they had so many visitors using mobile platforms to visit Disney.com. So we started working on the pilot project, but soon they approached us and they had an offer for us. They wanted to acquire the whole company and the technology with it, and the team. And of course, for us, it was a big surprise, but then again, an incredible opportunity to work with one of the biggest companies in the world. And our company wasn't even a year old at that stage. And let's be honest, like, who says no at that point? So we closed the deal. We got acquired by Disney exactly a year after founding. We finally got on TechCrunch. Thank you, Mike Butcher, for that. And we started working together with Disney. Now, we ended up spending almost 3 years working with Disney. Got to a point where I think around 50 games have been shipped using our technology, mostly web-based games, casual games. They replaced a lot of their Flash games with our tech and our games. So that was a cool experience. But here, I mean, we're at a startup event. So one of the key differences that we found out compared to running a startup and being a part of a huge company is just the scale is unbelievable. Back in 2011, Disney had over 140,000 employees, and we were 12 guys here in Helsinki. 10-hour time difference away and 10,000 miles away. So you can imagine that was quite the change. the guys just talked about, the value of IP. Well, nobody has it better than Disney. It's incredible, the amount of talent that they have and the IP that they have is just unbelievable. But with such strong IP, there's also a downside, and there's always several stakeholders that have their say in the project. And this was surprising and new to us, because as a startup, the only stakeholder you should really care about are your customers. And within Disney and in any large company, there's always a lot of internal and external stakeholders that want their share of a project. So that was new to us. And one of the things, because Disney is a public company, it affects most decisions, and this applies again to any listed company. A lot of decisions get made on the basis of how will that decision affect the stock price, and it also affects their ability to experiment and to fail fast and fail publicly. And that was very different from what we had experienced as a startup. But then again, it also works both ways. So the day that the acquisition got announced in media, I think their stock price went up something like 1.5%. So it added $700 million to their market cap. So it works both ways, I guess. Now, after almost 3 years at Disney, it was time for us to move on. And we wanted to build a new company that could, again, go back to the startup roots and back to the game development roots, and could do crazy experiments, have the permission and the ability to fail and to try out new things. And also, we wanted to get really close to the community, both on the player side and on the developer side, and to share our experiences that we have, and do really open communication. That these are the things you couldn't really do being a part of a Fortune 500 company. So we started working on the master plan, which is a tactical action game. And to be honest, this is probably the game that we couldn't have built with Disney. And for us, working on the master plan was important, because it was really a project that we wanted to do. But then again, at the same time, it was a way for us to get back, to feel the pulse of the industry, to feel like what's game development really like. Again, I mean, after spending 3 years at a Fortune 500 company, you kind of get detached from how it is to actually be again a small gaming startup. And we wanted to experience firsthand all of the problems and the challenges that game developers have nowadays. So we wanted to validate the concept as quickly as we could. So we went on Steam Greenlight, which is basically a platform where the Steam community can upvote or downvote your game. And very quickly we got very positive feedback from that community. We got through Steam Greenlight in 9 days. And that gave us validation that there's actually a product market fit and there's demand for our game. So that was important for us to get that sort of signal from the community that the people are interested in the game. And now we're on early access on Steam, constantly developing the game together with the community. And I really think that this sort of open development model results in the best possible game. Now, the way we do open development is we share a lot of updates with our community, and they can be playable updates, as in the case of the master plan, or we use a lot of visual stuff to connect with our fans. And stuff like just having vine loops is pretty cool. As you can see, it's just a short loop, but that creates an incredible amount of engagement with your community. Also doing stuff like GIF animations, for example. Just a very visual way to showcase your game. And this sort of community updates, they generate a lot of engagement with our community, and also it's a great way to engage your fans, and it's a very visual way as well. And you might say that, okay, this sort of open development, does it scale? Like, is it just so, it's a small thing, right? Well, I mean, eventually it can get pretty big. That's actually a post by Notch, from the creator of Minecraft, from 2009, and that's the first time he openly told anybody that he's working on Minecraft. That's posted on the independent game developer forums 5 years ago. and that's a Java applet that you can play. And 5 years later, Microsoft acquires this company for $2.5 billion. So that's like, I guess the most extreme case of open development gone right. So the problems we've been experiencing as an independent developer again, and as a small developer, you know, we've talked to a lot of other developers as well, and just the fact that we've experienced them firsthand, we've been able to come up with a certain set of ideas and challenges that we would like to solve going forward. And one of the things is that game discovery is a huge issue for both players and developers. Now, there's so much noise in the marketplace now. I think 300 games get released every day on the App Store. Almost 100 games get released on Steam every single month. So there's a lot of noise, and it's very difficult for developers to find their audiences, and also for players to find games they really love. Another thing I'd like to argue is that getting featured by Apple or by Google or by any marketplace is really not a sustainable business model. I mean, Finnish companies have been incredibly lucky and good in getting this sort of featuring, but going forward, it's only going to get harder and harder to achieve this sort of visibility. I think we really need a way for players and developers to start connecting from the earliest stages of development and really to create communities from day one. I think this is super important. And I think we also need a game discovery method that's visual and engaging and social, a way for you to find games you really care about. And once again, just like with Rocket Pack, with Shark Punch, we've experienced these problems firsthand, and we've talked to other developers, and everybody has had the same sort of problems. So we've kind of started to build a solution around this. And we're actually now building a social discovery platform called Playfield. And Playfield is going to be a way for you to engage with your community, to use social discovery to attract more players as a developer and as a player, for you to find games you really care about. So I'd like you guys to go to playfield.io, sign up. You'll be the first to know. I'm not ready to show you yet what we have, but be the first to know what we're building. And I'd love to hear any feedback you guys might have. So just drop me an email, you know, find me at the conference, and then drop me a note on Twitter, and we'll talk more. All right, thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. Thank you.